So for this tutorial, there's not a lot that you don't already know, but I'm going to walk you through it anyway. So I'm going to start with this young man here who looks fabulous. I'm going to actually chop the top of his head off and flip it open. But first we need to remove him from the background because we're going to do a couple of little things to embellish this whole image. So I need to remove this lock off the background, and I'll just double click on it. Try that again and click OK. Now I can create a new layer, and I'll just drag and drop, get back to layer 1, and then I'm going to mask out that background. And so I'm simply going to create a layer mask, and then I'm going to get my paintbrush. I'm going to increase the size of it, and I'm going to paint in black, and that will reveal that transparent layer below. And I could have simply, not simply, but I could have used the magic wand tool and made a couple of selections, but this is so easy to do because it's a simple plain background. And I'm just going to get in a little bit closer and lower the size of my brush, and I'm just going to check that I have a softer edge. 60–70% is pretty good. I'm just going to slowly paint, being as careful as possible. There we go. Took a little too much off there. I'm just going to smooth out that shirt a little bit. Not too bad. There we go. And hair is a little more difficult to deal with, and I'm going to show you later on how to deal with that. But for this, since we're doing sort of a cartoony sort of style, I'm not going to be too concerned about getting all the little hairs and whatnot. That's for a later project. I'm going to try to be as smooth as possible along my face here. Oops. And I know I'm going over this fairly fast, and you'll want to be more careful. Get in closer. And once again, the reason that I'm using a mask instead of deleting is that when you use a mask, you're not actually harming the layer. You're only making it look like you're revealing the layer below. There we go. Not too bad. And that's not my best work right there. But for this demonstration purpose, it's not too bad. So there we go. So I've got my young man on separate layer like that. And what I want to do is just capture his head and basically snip it off. One once I'm happy with my masking job, I'm going to actually remove the mask. So I'm just going to drag the mask to the trash can, apply, and there we go. Next step, I'm going to get my polygon lasso tool, and I'm just going to click right about there on the outside of his head, and click up there, and maybe over and across, and then clicking around here. Finish that off. How's that look? Not too bad. And then I'm going to do a Control-Shift-J, and that will cut and paste onto a separate layer. Now I can actually rotate this. And to rotate, I'm going to do a Control-T, or Edit Free Transform. Now if I just rotate the top of my head like this, it's going to rotate from that axis point. So you know that you can move this axis point, and I'm going to move it down here, close to the corner, and let it snap. And that way now I can rotate and lift up the head, just like so. Check it off. I'm going to add myself a couple of effects, well, maybe just one effect. I'm going to add a stroke, bump that up, click OK, and oh, this is perfect. Can you see what's happened here? When I did my masking, I didn't do the best job, so I'm going to have to go in here with my eraser tool. Where did my eraser tool go? This is kind of, oh, there it is right there. And I'm going to increase the size of my brush. I'm just hitting the hard brackets. I'll just go in there and just delete. Zoom in. Oh yeah, I've got a little bit of a mess to clean up here. And that's one of the dangers of using a soft edge brush. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to copy this layer style. So I'll right click on Effects, and I'll go to Copy Layer Style, go up to Layer 2, right click, Paste Layer Style. There we go. And there's some more mess up there, and I'll just erase that. Maybe I'll fix up that as well. Super. Oops. Control minus. Awesome. And then I'll do another Control T and just, no, I think the angle's okay. I think it's the positioning. Maybe move it up just a little bit, like so. I'm going to create a background. Maybe I'll do some sort of a gradient. I'll see what that looks like. See what happens. That's not too bad. Got radial gradient happening there that I dragged down quite a bit. So it's not linear, it's radial. And then I'm going to use my shape tool. And the custom shape tool with, with lots of different shapes available to me. And I'm just going to click on all and OK. And then I'm going to think about what sorts of shapes I can incorporate into this little example here. I'm going to try, first of all, with an arrow. And I'm going to find myself a color that's going to be hopefully complementary to maybe what this person's wearing, but definitely the background. And I'm going to click and drag, something like that. So I have an arrow. Bring this down. I'm going to transform it a little bit. Something like that. And then I'm going to duplicate it because I'm going to have some repeated elements here. And my repeated element is going to scale down in size. Something like that. I'll just Alt drag off another copy and scale this one down a little bit more as well. So I've got 3 repeated elements of whatever is coming out of my head. And then I'm going to carry on from there. I can add strokes to these, do some other interesting things, but the next one is, what else can we place in there? Light bulb. How about a light bulb? Let's put a light bulb in there. And I'm just going to change my color. I'm going to bring it down to a lighter blue. Create myself a light bulb. Bring that over here. And I'm just going to pull that down. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to fill up this space with a bunch of different shapes, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll have something interesting by the time I finish this. There we go. We got there. Not too bad. Oh. I'm going to change that to black. And maybe bring that over there. See what happens if I bring that all the way back there. Something like that. So I'm going to continue on filling this space. We'll see what happens.